Hey everybody, Bob Murnahan here, and this is another lesson that's part of a series that I've been doing on phrasing. I should say elements of style, which to me are what make up phrasing. So we've talked about bending, we've talked about hammer-ons and pull-offs, we've talked about dynamics, we've talked about staccato and legato, and today I'm going to talk about something that I've gotten a few questions on here recently, and that's vibrato. So I'm going to talk about vibrato a little bit, what it is and how you produce it, or how I produce it anyhow. And hopefully it'll give you some insight as to what you can do to work on your vibrato. So vibrato is something that typically occurs when we sustain a note. It doesn't have to be sustained a long period of time. It can go by pretty quick actually. But typically it's something you associate with a sustained note. You think about singers using vibrato at the end of a phrase. And basically what vibrato is it's a variation in the pitch, and there are two elements to that. So one, we have how much we vary the pitch. So I'm actually at the 7th fret here on the note D, and I could actually use any note for this example. It really doesn't matter. You can do these all over the fretboard, and just so you got a reference spot though, I am at the 7th fret on the 3rd string. And so I've got pitch, or how much I vary the pitch. So in other words, this way. So this would be varying the pitch more, right? Kind of over exaggerating things here. Maybe not so much. So that's one aspect of vibrato, and the other aspect of vibrato is the speed of the vibrato. So slow vibrato, faster vibrato. So those are the two aspects that we're dealing with when we're talking about vibrato. Now, you can also apply vibrato to a bent note, which is a little more difficult. So I suggest, if this is a new idea for you, that you work with notes that aren't bent and then start to apply it to your bending. And again, you do vibrato with any finger. And again, that's a good idea to practice doing your vibrato with any finger. There's the 4th finger, 3rd, 1st rather. Now, let me tell you about how I produce vibrato. Works really well for me. Typically, my 1st finger is in contact with the bottom edge of the fretboard here, and it's usually right here between the last, like the knuckles here, and the 1st knuckle on my finger. So somewhere right in here, my index finger is making contact with the fretboard. I think you can see that there. And so for me, the vibrato is just simply like that section there, that point where my finger is touching the fretboard, acts like sort of like the pivot point, and then I just kind of rock back and forth on that point. And that's how I get my vibrato most of the time. Now even here, I'm still using that same thing as the pivot point, and I just kind of up, down motion with my hand, but the leverage point again is this spot right here on my finger. Now, I did notice earlier I was kind of messing around doing some B.B. King vibrato. The real fast, we're all familiar with that, right? And I noticed that I can also do that vibrato, that real fast B.B. King vibrato, without having any contact. So there's more than one way to do this. And it's just a faster shaking of the hand, right? That's the speed of the vibrato that we were talking about a second ago. And of course, when you're going real fast like that, you're not really varying the pitch as much. Now, I tend to not like that really fast vibrato. My vibrato tends to be a little slower most of the time. And one of the things you can also try is to not have any vibrato at all initially, and then work your way into the vibrato. Something you hear singers doing a lot of. And there's that faster vibrato again. Really, it's just the faster movement of the hand. And actually, I noticed there that I am still using that pivot point, that I don't know if you want to call it a fulcrum or whatever. Sorry about the cutting in and out there if you're hearing that. Seems that my computer's acting up at the moment, and I don't know why. So that's one type of vibrato. Now, there's a second type of vibrato that classical players use a lot, and I've also seen Larry Carlton use this vibrato. And this is a sort of a more subtle vibrato. And instead of going up and down, like you're actually bending the string one direction, releasing back the other direction, sort of that back and forth thing. This is a side-to-side motion in the fret. So you can see now I'm not going up and down, but I'm going side to side. There's that stupid computer cutting out again. I don't know if that's going to show up when I do the final audio, but if it does, I apologize. And again, you can do that vibrato on any finger. And you can still hear I'm getting the vibrato. It's a little bit more of a subtle effect. Doing it this way instead of this way. Alright, so just as a quick recap for the vibrato, you've got how much you're altering the pitch, and you've also got the speed, slow, fast, and you've also got vibrato on bending. Now when you're doing the vibrato on the bending, it's important that you use the good bending technique with the thumb over the top and so forth and so on. So if you need a refresher on that, go back and check out the bending video that I did. And we've also got the side to side, more subtle classical type vibrato. Alright, so there are some vibrato tips for you. Work on your vibrato, really practice on doing slow vibrato, fast vibrato, no vibrato moving into a vibrato. So all those things we talked about vary, the amount of how much you're altering the pitch and the amount of the speed. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll be back soon with the last segment in this series on phrasing. We're going to cover slides. But until then, practice, and I'll talk to you soon.